Welcome to Drunk Beaver Production. This is Jonathan, and today we're going to Jail Magistration Court in El Paso, Texas, JMAG, and we're going to be watching a collection of first appearances that aren't exactly firsts. We'll have a lot of great hearings today, and hopefully you enjoyed the very special intro. Thank you, and like and subscribe.
Mr. Castrejon,
Yes, Casserole.
good morning. You have been accused of possessing a controlled substance in a drug-free zone. Again. Miss Perla, is he out on a PR bond on the other possession?
Yes, he is, Judge. He was placed under standard supervision and he has been reporting.
And he has been reporting. All
Yes,
right.
Judge.
He is a risk level 4. Miss Lopez?
Okay, Your Honor, Mr. Castejon is 18 years old. He is a U.S. citizen. If released, he will be residing at Shape Drive, El Paso, Texas. He has been at that location for 5 years and has been in El Paso for 12 years. He has not completed high school. He is currently a student. He is single, and he will be living with his mom and family.
Mr. Duke?
Yes, Your Honor. So he is, in fact, on a PR bond currently for a prior PG2 item back on December 13th of last year. In this particular case, on April the 3rd of this year, at high school, another student sees the defendant smoking in in the boys' bathroom near the cafeteria. There's a foot pursuit by security officers. They catch the defendant. They take him back to, I guess, the principal's office. They do a brief search of his person, but didn't find anything. They reviewed surveillance footage. They see him throw an object over the rock wall, and they go back to that area and they find a THC vape pen for, it says, Get Spaced and Space Club Lava Melon, which is THC.
Thank you. I'm denying any bond reduction on this case based on prior noncompliance with the conditions of his PR bond, and namely not to commit any further crimes. All right, Mr. Castrejon, you're going to stay in jail. Ms. Perla, do not file a notice of violation on the other pending case. Okay, if he can bail out, he can bail out. If he can't, then he'll just sit in jail.
Okay, Judge.
Thank you.
I'll sit right there. I'll sit here right now.
Dennis Langle.
Yes, sir. Dennis Fairlangle Jr.
Good morning, Mr. Langle.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Langle, you have 2 cases. One is a recent charge of possession between 4 but less than 200 grams. The other is a PR rebel out of the 409. I can only hear the new case, not the old case. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And his risk level is a 4. Ms. Lopez?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Lango is 43 years old. He is a U.S. citizen. If released, he will be residing Gateway East, El Paso, Texas, 79905. He has been at this location for 6 months and is a lifelong citizen of El Paso. He is widowed, has no children. He is employed as a mechanic and has been employed for 8 years. Mr. Lango does suffer from mental health diagnoses, which include bipolar, ADHD, PTSD, anxiety, and depression has been seen by EHN. Mr. Lango did inform me that the reason for his PR violation was that he was in federal holding for 9 months for other charges. He contacted PR after he was released from federal holding, but they stated they had no case. Mr. Lango has family in El Paso, would like to return back to his dog who is a puppy that is 6 months and will follow all conditions of PR bond. He has $75 cash available for bond out.
Okay, he also has a detainer. And a failure to appear from Otero County. Mr. Luke, Mr. Duke?
You can call me Luke. That's fine.
All
All right, Your Honor. So on this particular case, he has been, he was placed on a PR bond back on November 25th of 22. He has a 1999 burglary of Hab, a 2015 less than 1 gram, a 2018 less than a gram, a 21 1 to 4 grams, 21 less than 1 gram. 2019, he was convicted of transporting aliens by the feds.
Mikey? Mikey, when they let you out of jail? That's enough, Mikey. You hand me that here.
He has history in New Mexico, Florida, and Colorado. The PR bond affidavit states that he was to report once a month, and he has not reported since being placed on PR bond. On January 10th of 23, he was released on PR bond, though he was rebooked for a probation violation on the same day. He was later released from the detention facility on February 17th of 23 to another agency as per jailing records. In this particular case, Your Honor, officers are patrolling on Montana. They see the defendant's vehicle with paper tags. It doesn't match that particular vehicle. It goes back to a tractor trailer truck. They go ahead and they do a traffic stop and they meet with the defendant. They notice a glass pipe next to him that they believe is used to smoke meth. He states it's used to smoke weed. They continue their conversation with him. They ask if he has anything on his person. He admits that he has, quote, a little bit of shit on me, end quote. And then he says a little bit of meth. He then pulls out a Ziploc baggie containing the crystal substance, and it tests positive for meth, and it weighed 5 grams.
Now I'm gonna deny any bond reduction on this case, prior non-compliance, as well as flight risk. All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. Let me get you guys out of here. And Judge,
Yes, sir.
Argueta Giovanni, will he be seen today? He's
Yes,
dispatched.
sir. Yes, we are gonna see him today. Usted es Giovanni Mejía Argueta.
Sí es.
¿Habla inglés?
No, por español.
Estamos aquí para tener una audiencia de las 48 horas. Estas audiencias se hacen en inglés. Tengo entendido que usted quiere proseguir o seguir hoy y que simplemente le anunciemos a usted la decisión que yo tomé. ¿Es correcto?
Ajá.
¿O quiere usted tener esta audiencia el lunes para poder conseguirle a un intérprete que le traduzca los procedimientos palabra por palabra a su idioma nativo? ¿Qué es lo que prefiere?
Pues mi idioma nativo.
Okay, we're going to reset him for Monday. Okay. Entonces voy a aplazar esta audiencia, señor, hasta mañana a la 1:30 de la tarde, ¿ok? Gracias, es todo por hoy.
Your Honor, this is Giovanni Argueta. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, do us a favor, give them your full name.
Jermaine Mooney.
Give me a second, would you please, sir? Thank you. How do I pronounce your last name, sir?
Mooney.
Boeni?
Yes, sir.
All right, the G is silent?
Yes, sir.
All right, he has been accused, Mr. Boani has been accused of assault, Simple assault, $5,000 bond. Resisting arrest, $5,000 bond. Evading arrest, $5,000 bond. Interference with emergency request for assistance, $1,500. Burglary habitation, $10,000. Assault against a peace officer, $5,000. Another assault against a peace officer, $5,000. Trying to take a weapon from an officer, 10 grand. And possessing a controlled substance with the intent to distribute it, $10,000. He is on deferred for violating a protective order, a burglary of a building, and a possession of a penalty group 1 between 1 to 4 grams. Ms. Lopez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Boni is 36 years old. He is a U.S. citizen. If released, he will be residing at Black Hawk Drive, El Paso, Texas, 79924. He has been at this location for 4 years and has been in El Paso for 7. Mr. Boni has some college, is married, has 3 children, ages 15, 14, and 4. He is currently employed at El Paso Electric, has been at that location for 1 month, but however, has not yet received a paycheck. He indicated that, well, according to the notes, that he indicated that he was beaten by officers and has a broken tooth. He has family and a job here in El Paso and has $0 cash available for bond, Your Honor.
Mr. Duke?
Yes, Your Honor. So he is on probation, like the court stated. He also has a prior assault family violence in 2018 out of Harris County. On this particular occasion, the defendant is a passenger in a vehicle that is pulled over for expired registration. Officers run him and the driver for warrants. The defendant comes back with a burglary of habitation warrant and interference with emergency request for assistance warrant. They go ahead and they tell the defendant he's got outstanding warrants. He's going to be placed under arrest. At that point, the defendant breaks away from the officers, begins to run. They go ahead and they catch up to him. They grab him by the left arm, attempt to pull him back towards them. And then he is able to get away again. He runs for approximately 40 yards. The defendant trips. He falls to the ground. They immediately get on top of the defendant, order him to place his hands behind his back. He attempts to run away. He attempts to get up and run again. While he's on the ground, he begins to pull away from both officers. They do hit him several times to gain compliance. At which point, Officer Beltran deploys the OC spray directly to the defendant's eyes, at which point the defendant grabs the OC spray and deploys the spray toward the officers. They're able to cover the spray before it hits them. The defendant empties the OC spray into the officer's left hand. He's hit several more times to gain compliance, still attempting to get up and push upwards. They were then able to gain control and place him in handcuffs. Let's see. So one of the people that he's accused of assaulting was a ride-along who is a recruit in the El Paso Police Academy. He hits him in the mouth, causing him to feel pain due to the effects of the OC. Then he's also charged with resisting arrest, which is part of all of this. The burglary of habitation occurred back on March 1st of 24. Let's see. So they're dispatched to a burglary of habitation. They're advised that the defendant is standing by at Food King, that he wants to meet and talk with the officers. The officers go to Food King. They are not able to locate the defendant. They call him via phone. States that he didn't want to meet with them because he was going to get arrested, but wanted to let the officers know the complainant had called him to go over. Then the officers, they meet with, they still talk to the defendant, or they talk to the complainant, excuse me. Complainant states she and the defendant have been separated for 3 years. She asked the defendant if he could give her money because she needed to get their daughter some glasses. He agreed. They meet up outside of the complainant's residence. She didn't want the defendant inside of her residence because of past incidents of family violence. Stated she was upstairs. She heard noises coming from downstairs, so she went to see what it was. She sees the defendant inside of the apartment. She told the defendant to get out multiple times. She proceeded to call 911. While she was on the phone, the defendant grabs her phone and throws it on the ground, interfering with the emergency services. Complainant states she then proceeded to go for the phone when the defendant grabbed both of her arms by the wrist and pushed her to the ground. She did not feel pain at that time, but she did receive a bruised knee from the assault. Officers did observe a purple in color bruise on the right knee. Officer Garcia then observed window blinds to be damaged, asked complainant if the blinds were previously like that. Say there was no damage to the blinds before. They asked if she knew how the defendant entered the residence. She did not know if it was through the window or if the door had been left unlocked. And during this melee outside, when they tried to serve the warrants, he ends up biting Officer Beltran on the upper right arm as well, causing pain. And of course, the evading arrest.
Okay, Mr. Duke, thank you very much.
I think that's about it, Your Honor.
Yes, and Ms. Stakes is on the most recent assault. She's also the complaining witness on a violation of a protective order from 2023 and the victim of the assault for which she's on probation from 2022. Mr. Buani, I'm going to deny any bond reduction based on your prior criminal history involving acts of violence against the same family member, as well as the nature and circumstances of the alleged offense regarding the police officers and for the future safety of law enforcement and of the alleged victims. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.